Hey, all right. It worked. I've been having. Oh, no. I'm getting no signal. No, no, I am. I am getting a signal. Okay. I'm on the struggle bus today. Brought home a cold from Vegas, which is, never a good thing. And then my computer was misbehaving all morning. So I've been trying to get my computer to work. Hopefully it doesn't crash on me. I use Streamlabs for this, and it crashed 5 minutes ago and said, "Yep, I'm done. I can't do it." So yeah, we seem to be streaming successfully. Nick S, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Wow, that was really loud. Sorry if I blew your ears out. It was not my intent. Lower that a little bit. So not only is my computer on the struggle bus, I am as well. Yeah. Week in Vegas, and I didn't bring home a jackpot, but I did bring home a cold. So that's kind of a bummer. But that's how it goes. So let's get right into it today. Let's start, as I usually do, with the misery map, which looks fairly miserable yet again. I guess that's pretty typical. I didn't make my mouse giant this time, and it's not showing up anyway. Anyway, so misery map. No fooling. If you go back to midnight, there is a giant weather system going through the Midwest and the Northeast, and watch this progression as it goes through. And the East Coast hub airports just get smashed. Atlanta. I should have sent a text to Matt this morning. I bet he's at the airport enjoying the weather and and probably thankful he's not. He'd probably want to be flying, truth be told. But lots of misery in Atlanta today. It is the winter again next week, followed by looks like Chicago O'Hare. Yeah, Chicago O'Hare, New York City. The whole New York City area looks like it's getting pounded, and Boston. So I had a little delay. I flew out of Boise last Sunday, and there was a system coming through on Sunday, and I actually got delayed 3 hours leaving Boise. I was flying. I did the whole Spirit experience this week. Mostly good. The Salt Lake City airport told the Spirit pilot, or at least this is according to the Spirit pilot, to go around and fly back to Las Vegas. And then they did it again later that morning. So that whole back and forth takes about 3 hours. And so that was my delay, because the flight goes from Las Vegas to Salt Lake to Vegas, Vegas to Boise, Boise to Vegas. I think it goes from Vegas to Reno and back, and then there was one more leg for that aircraft. I don't remember where it went after that, but yeah. So it was delayed. I got the notice early enough that I just kind of hung out at home. Boise Airport on a Sunday is not very exciting. So delays by airline. Delta is winning. Not surprised with the delays we're seeing in Atlanta. SkyWest does a lot of regional flights for Delta, so that could be part of that as well. Also American in Chicago. United EasyJet. So American carriers seem to be leading the way this time. Our friend's Wings Abadi is still on the top. What's that? Top 10 looking. Yeah, I was looking for my friends from Breeze. I didn't see them on the page anywhere, which kind of surprised me, frankly. I will be venting more about Breeze on an upcoming video, possibly today. We'll see how it goes. And airport-wise, the current leader of Origin Airport delays is Minneapolis-St. Paul, and Hartsfield-Jackson seems to be recovering. 60 canceled flights out of Minneapolis. That sucks. I have to fly through Minneapolis here in a couple weeks. So hopefully I don't get screwed by them. And actually, worldwide, I was surprised about this. There's a lot of significant delays all over the world. Frankfurt, departure delays. Doesn't say why. Manchester, just a lot of traffic. Air arrival delays. Increasing. London Gatwick, 1 hour, 8-minute delays on departure. 56 minutes and decreasing on arrival. Ugh, that's an extra hour after potentially across the water. Anyway, London Stansted. I think that's mostly probably European traffic. I don't know if David has arrived. I don't know if David's going to make it. Amsterdam, departure delays. Copenhagen, more delays. Göteborg, so Hartsfield Jackson. Cleveland, Charlotte Douglas, Newark Liberty, Fort Lauderdale, bummer. Spring Breakers having some delays. JFK, yeah, Orlando, Minneapolis, Ontario. So yeah, Madrid. Lots of delays in the world today. Seems like there's just lots of big storms causing lots of delays these days. I don't know. I didn't, of course, I'd start looking at this little misery map and delay map until I started doing the stream. So I have a limited history of it, but it just seems like there's, I don't know, maybe it's what it looks like and what it actually is are not the same. It just seems like it's really bad. It seems like lots of delays. Every time I look at this, it just seems everybody's delayed. So, I don't know. I need a drink. That's better. So one of the things I've been looking at and was almost impacted by, it didn't happen to me, but I'm fascinated by Southwest and their response to their Christmas Day massacre. If you recall, there was a giant winter storm came through, and several airlines had cancellations and delays. It essentially closed Southwest down for a couple weeks. This was right before I went to Hawaii, and thankfully, it did not impact my travel. I think I traveled to Hawaii on the first day after the recovery had begun. So that was good for me. And yeah, so I didn't have any problems. But I got this email with a link to their little, what they're going to do about it. So they've created, of course, all big companies must create an action plan. So they've got their action plan includes 3 big pieces: improve winter operations. I would say just improve operations, accelerate operational investments, enable cross-team collaboration. So we're going to look into this a little bit more. Hey, Big Daddy, how are you? Red has arrived. That's still really loud. Sorry if I blew out your ears. I thought I had fixed that. Apparently not. All right, so let's take a look at what Southwest is going to do so they don't have another Christmas Day massacre. So they say improve winter operations. Root cause: we had insufficient winter infrastructure and equipment in key airport locations to adequately react to a winter storm of Elliot's epic scale, velocity, and duration. And we faced staffing challenges from the need to rotate employees outside in bitter winter weather. These issues hindered our ability to keep our flight crew networks flowing from key crew bases. I'm trying to read this like I was reading a story to my children. Not that I think you guys are children, but it's just, I think it makes it more dramatic. And I do that because I believe most of these things are written by marketing folks to make us, the reading public feel better about what they're doing. Anyway, if you feel better, then it is better. The action plan: we are reinforcing our airport infrastructure, increasing available equipment, and bolstering overall winter preparedness at key airports where there is potential for severe winter weather, in order to help our employees function more effectively in severe weather. We are increasing available equipment to manage the effects of winter weather. De-icing trucks, pads, and ground equipment. Storage capacity of de-icing fluid at key airports. Engine covers and heaters to protect aircraft and ground equipment in very low temperatures. Okay, well, that sounds good. I think that's a good thing. We are implementing new tools that provide pilots, additional real-time insight into the amount of time they have to depart after an aircraft has been de-iced. We are adding staff at airports where extreme cold requires rotating ground operations employees working outside, like Minneapolis, I would guess. And Denver. We are reassessing our fuel management processes for ground equipment to more reliably operate during extreme winter conditions. We are refining ramp cleaning procedures to better keep surfaces free of frozen precipitation. Did you guys see anything that's really that earth-shatteringly new there? Seems like they just are hopefully just adding more. I didn't really see anything in that list that looks that groundbreaking. I don't know. Maybe I'm just cynical about that. I don't know. It just doesn't seem that special. Oh, I see David Lazarus has arrived. At least that's really loud in my headphones. Hopefully it's not so loud in yours. All right. Well, welcome, David. We're going over what what I believe Southwest marketing has come up with in response to their winter massacre, where they canceled everybody. So they accelerate operational investments. Root cause: the pace and volume of close-in cancellations forced our aircraft and crew scheduling teams to rely on time-consuming manual processes that cannot keep pace with the volume of individual scheduling issues. We are reprioritizing our timeline for upgrading tools and technology that will help us recover our operation faster during extreme weather. Their initiatives: we have already completed a software upgrade that reassigns our crews during disruptions. We have already increased our system call capacity to better handle large volumes from both our flight crews and our customers. We are improving the tool responsible for electronically notifying flight crews of their new flight assignments and allowing them to electronically acknowledge changes in their work plan. So they're actually using regular technology, it looks like. Interesting. More phone capacity. I wonder what that means in this world of cell phones. So, let's see. And the last one. This reminds me a lot of anyway. Enhance cross-team collaboration. Root cause: compartmentalized communications and gaps in our processes between important operation work groups resulted in bottlenecks. Sounds like the government. We are enhancing collaboration across teams and improving the tools and procedures to streamline communication and decision-making. Great. We have already consolidated the team who designs our flight schedule with the team overseeing the day-to-day operations into one department. How is that not one department to begin with? Seems odd. We have implemented enhanced real-time dashboards for increased visibility into things like impending close-in flight cancellations to better monitor the health of our network. We are enhancing capabilities to alert, define, and escalate awareness of potential issues. We are establishing clear lines of communication among the groups operating the airline. frankly, a lot of this that I see here seems like things that I don't know. As a former corporate worker in the technology sphere, I don't know that, you know, get your guys some more de-icing equipment and some heaters is probably how that actually rolls out on the ground. I don't know any Southwest rampers, but and all this IT stuff, I I seriously doubt that a lot of these they said they've already completed these things. They would have had to have been in process. Big corporations don't roll this stuff out that quickly. So the true test, of course, will be the next big disruption, big storm. There have been a bunch of kind of little storms, and things have been going okay for Southwest, from what I've heard. So maybe all this is gonna be effective. I don't really know. Yeah, the true test is to put it into action and see what happens. When I read this kind of stuff, though, I don't know that it makes me feel any better or worse about Southwest. At the end of the day, no matter who you fly, the potential for a flight issue, weather issue is always going to be there. So there was a dude on my flight last Sunday flying to Vegas. He was gosh, very angry about being told that they were delayed and he had to like wait, which uh our flight was at 3:50, I believe, and I was notified at, I want to say, 10 in the morning that we were going to be delayed. So I never went to the airport. I didn't have to go to the airport. So if he made the mistake of going to the airport, that's kind of his fault in my mind. I don't know anybody who would be at the airport 3 hours ahead of a flight on Spirit. That guy was, but so that was pretty crazy. I don't know why. Yeah, he was really angry. He yelled at the flight attendants, and the pilot actually came out, and I was in the big front seat, of course, taking my own advice. But so I heard the flight attendants, or I heard the pilot ask the flight attendants if he needed to go talk to this guy. So I don't know that this guy realizes how close he was to potentially getting removed from the flight. Yeah, because he was pissed off, and that happens. So, all right. Redco says just filler or fodder. Yeah, yeah. I don't really. Yeah, marketing. It has the look of a marketing professional to me. But David says marketing Trump's investment is actually solving a problem. I'm not sure I understand the reference, David. I'm probably operating at about 75% this morning, so I'm not quick on the uptake, but maybe you can fill me in on what you're going for. Red says he's flying them again in mid-May. Yeah, I would fly them again. I don't have any qualms about Southwest. When a big storm comes, it's going to impact everybody. It's that recovery piece after the storm has gone through. How an airline can recover. Obviously, the bigger an airline is, the more resilient it probably should be and can be, just because of its infrastructure. Something like Breeze, for example, who screwed me twice, and I'm never going to fly Breeze again, I don't think. Probably not. Not right now, at least. I'm pretty bitter at Breeze. My flight cancellation overnight delay thing was resolved, not to my satisfaction this week. But yeah, so I'm actively advocating you not fly on Breeze. I think Breeze has great airplanes, it has great flight crew, and everything on the ground with Breeze is terrible. And so I will be putting that down on official video for my second Breeze flight. I think I'm gonna try to get that done for this Wednesday. So we shall see if I am if I do get that done. But yeah, I would fly Southwest. It's interesting. I was watching Noel Phillips, a Southwest. No, one of his, gosh, from a long time ago, a video where he did like a 5-city thing in a day, which he does some crazy challenges. Anyway, popped up and it was his first time on Southwest and he absolutely loves Southwest. And when you actually look at what you get on Southwest, you get free streaming, you get a lot of free stuff. It's really decent value for the money. So Red asks, what's the root of that KLM footage? I'm assuming you're looking at the background footage. Because I've only flown KLM once, so that has to be the departure of my 747 combo out of Amsterdam. I believe that video is, it's either on my channel. The trip report for sure is on the channel. I'm trying to remember if the actual departure video is. I did post a short where I cropped the inboard engine view and the wing on top. So there is a short about that departure. That is also out there on my channel. That's probably one of my favorite departures. I love when the wing and the engines make fog. Matt dubbed that the fog hole. When the engines are sucking in air and you get the fog in the inlet, so that's fog hole. And then when the wing starts to lift and you get a lower pressure area on top and you makes fog on top of the wing, he calls that wing shim, which I think is very appropriate. So fog hole and wing shim, that's really what that takeoff is. One of my favorites, and that was 2019 out of Amsterdam. So been a few years now. At that time, I thought that was about the end for the 747, and now there are some 747s. I believe Lufthansa is flying 747s right now. I don't know if anybody else has unretired theirs. David comments, marketing beats actual spending on computers. Agreed. If you make people think everything is okay, then everything is okay. It's only bad if you think it's bad. There's this consumer confidence number that everybody likes to talk about when they talk about the economy. So if you think the economy is good, the economy is good. If you think the economy is bad, the economy is typically bad. So I think Korean as well, Red says. I think you're right. I think I was watching one of Matt's videos. And I think he had a Korean 748 landed in Atlanta. I'm pretty sure. And I think that was pretty recent. So maybe I'll be flying to Korea. I don't know. There's lots of North Koreans really close to South Korea. Seems like the world is in a weird place right now. I wish my own, so I won't speak for David, but I wish my own government would do a little bit more to calm the world down. I don't want to go political. I don't really want to go there. That's a third rail thing, and I want to avoid that. Maybe I'll have to do. Maybe what will happen. Maybe that would be a driver. If you want to get my real views on politics, you'll have to become a member, and then we'll have a members only stream that is not public on YouTube, and then I'll give you my real feelings. But yeah, there's way too much risk involved with YouTube these days. Nick S asks, do you know Canadian slang? I don't think I do. You got something you want to share, Nick? please share in the chat. I would appreciate. I don't. It's always good Canadian slang. As I said, the longer I talk, the more I think my operational efficiency has gone down about 65%. My brain is. I hate is aren't colds just the worst because you're mostly functional, but then you get this kind of like you just kind of like because you're stuffed up and you're got a bit of a sinus headache, but I'm just whining now. David says my government is even worse. I think we could do a point by point comparison, and I'm not so sure they wouldn't come out with a tie. I don't know that there are a lot of good governments out there. I mean, frankly, I think there's way too much government in general. I just leave me alone. You know. Anyway, if I spent money the way the government, anyway, well, I'm not gonna go there. All right. So the last couple of weeks, again, if you want to get the unfiltered me, the completely unfiltered me, it'd have to be on a members only chat, on a Zoom call probably. I wouldn't want that anywhere near YouTube. All right. So over the past weeks, we have been talking about the near misses, and everybody in every sector seems to be saying, just do better. I mean, this is kind of how I interpret a lot of this. Do better and we'll be better. Actually, I've seen this view out of Newark. Anyway, so the pilots union urges pilots to increase vigilance to prevent close calls, which seems very silly to me because the pilot's job is to basically look where the plane's going, and if it sees another airplane on the ground in front of it, it probably should take preventative action. But anyway, the largest U.S. airline pilots union is counseling its members to be more focused to avoid additional close calls. There have been multiple close calls on runways this year, which have raised questions about air safety. The Airline Pilots Association issued a safety alert encouraging pilots to increase vigilance and prevent complacency in themselves and others. Maintaining vigilance and promoting vigilance is always vital, but it is especially critical during periods of dynamic change, the alert said. Why do you have to... But why can't you just say, but it is especially critical during takeoff and landing? Isn't that what they really want? Be more vigilant during takeoff and landing? I mean, everything beyond takeoff and landing is all on autopilot and really at the direction of ATC. So you could be looking at looking at their flight displays and their flight radars and stuff like that. Let me bump this to make this a little bigger. Anyway. Maybe a little grumpy. Maybe I should be going to bed after this. This alert has been sent just 2 days after the FAA told airlines in an industry-wide bulletin to step up vigilance at airports because of the close calls on or near runways. Friday's alert noted that the rapid hiring for aviation positions, with pilots upgrading into new aircraft and shifting between captain and co-pilot roles, meant many people are performing new roles. I suspect this is true in the air traffic control building as well. Reducing distractions where possible, disciplined procedures and communications, and effective crew resource management help manage strains on the system, the alert said. The bulletin encouraged pilots to submit voluntary safety reports and be observant for any loss of situational awareness in fellow pilots to help ensure flight safety. I'm curious how you guys absorb that. That sounds like they want people to tell on their coworkers. Telling people to rat out their coworkers usually doesn't work very well, but in my experience at least. On Thursday, the head of the nation's air traffic controllers said there have been too many near collisions at airports and laid out steps to avoid more, including more supervisor oversight in control towers and extra controller training for unusual circumstances. again, as I read the near miss reports, I didn't see anything that looked unusual in any of those. There was a plane taking off, and a plane was cleared to land on the same runway in just about every instance. I don't know that I saw anything odd there. The only one that was odd to me was not really a runway incursion. It was the pilots leaving Hawaii, who I think forgot to do something with the flaps, or they lost situational awareness, is what it was, and they got to do extra training, which is a good thing. But yeah. Even though we all know that multiple levels of safety are built into our system, there is no question that we are seeing too many close calls, said Tim Errol, Chief Operating Officer of the Federal Aviation Administration's Air Traffic Organization. Oh, good, a 5-step plan. The 5 steps laid out by Arl in an agency-wide memo follow last week's FAA Safety Summit, focusing on the recent series of near collisions. The National Transportation Safety Board is investigating 6 incidents this year alone. Yeah, let's put out a memo. That'll work. Memos are great. Our dedication to continuous improvement demands that we dig deep to identify the underlying factors and address them. With the summer travel season just around the corner, airlines and the traveling public have high expectations. Yes, we would like to be safe. The most serious types of near collisions on U.S. runways this year are about double the rate seen in the past. Transportation Pete. Oh, it's well, he'll probably watch the replay, but this one is for Archie. Pete Budgig said on Thursday. In past years, they've occurred at roughly a rate of 1 per month, he told the Senate panel. Right now, they are occurring. Right now, they are this. Right now, they are this year occurring at a rate that is double that. So 2 a month. Yeah, that's not good. Nice view of New York City, I guess. From Newark Liberty. Yeah, what do you guys think? Increased vigilance. I think I'm a broken record, but I really think we've got a lot of people who didn't come back to their jobs. It wasn't worth it. And we've got a lot of inexperienced folks who are in seats that they're not accustomed to the stress, and things happen. I just hope we don't have a big tragedy coming. David says the pilots could be overworked. I think all pilots are concentrating during landings. Yes, agreed. And I was going to look this up because it's kind of part of my Breeze rant that I'm working on. I'm building up to this, hopefully this lovely rant for all you guys about Breeze. Did I mention I don't like Breeze? Anyway, I lost my train of thought. I don't know if Nick is still out there. I'm very curious about the Canadian slang. I am going to Canada in a couple weeks, so I don't want to accidentally say something I'm not supposed to. Or maybe I do. I don't know. I could be the ugly American who's... Anybody read The Ugly American? It's a book from, I think, the 60s. Anyway, it's about how basically American travelers are super arrogant and just expect everybody to fall to their whims around the world as they travel. I've actually seen more of that from my friends from China than I have from most Americans, but I am an American, so I'm biased. Anyway, I have no idea what I was saying. I distracted myself. That happens as you get older. So anyway, Nick, if you're still out there, I'm curious about what I did or might have said. Yeah, you get me talking about a lot of the... I used to manage people, and anytime my upper management would send me a memo to read to my folks, to try to change behaviors, I knew it was not going to be effective. People don't change behaviors based on memos. They change their behaviors because uh, they have to want to change their behaviors, and they have to see the value in changing those behaviors. Um, so reading a memo and telling people to be vigilant, they have to want it. If and pilots have a reputation, at least I don't know many pilots, but pilots have a reputation for, kind of like doctors, to be invincible. Uh, you know, I don't know that they always. When people think they're invincible, I don't think that they always believe that they are the problem. It's always somebody else. So, all right. Nick has said, I met a girl from St. Cloud, Minnesota, and said Canadians say slang in sentences. All right. Well, I'll keep my ear open for that. I'll be going to Winnipeg in basically two weeks from. What's today? Today's Saturday, so 2 weeks from tomorrow, I'm headed to Winnipeg. I'll be doing some WestJets along the way. Actually, I should say doing a WestJet and a WestJet Express, which is a Q400, which I'm not excited about, but it should be an interesting video, I think. And then I will be taking the Canadian from Winnipeg to Vancouver, which I'm looking forward to my first train trip. Hopefully I haven't screwed myself on that one. I did get a sleeper, so I don't think it won't be terrible. Hopefully I like it. It's three. I have like, I'm trying to remember. It works out to 3 nights, 3 sleeps, as I would call it. There are 3 sleeps on the plane because we depart Winnipeg at like 11. No, I think it's 9. We depart Winnipeg at supposed to depart at 9:30, and we get to Vancouver on Monday. So I depart Winnipeg on Monday at 9:30 at night, and I get to Vancouver at 8 in the morning on Thursday. So it's like three sleeps. So yeah. So anyway, and then from Vancouver, I'm taking Air Canada. I'm going to fly across a good part of Canada from Vancouver back to Toronto in their business class, which I'm very much looking forward to. Air Canada business class to see what that's like. And then coming back home, I think I got an Air Canada, and I see Red has Air Canada Jazz. I think it might be a Jazz flight from Toronto back to Minneapolis, and then Delta mainline from Minneapolis back to Seattle, and then Seattle to here. So I decided to mix it up that way, and I think I'm working on some sort of other international. I think I've got a non-travel thing in Asheville, North Carolina in June. So I'm thinking about flying in and out of Charlotte, and then flying to Europe, just a quickie maybe to Portugal. Portugal looked like it had at least the dates I looked had a low cost business class to Portugal. I think it might have been on American, of course, out of Charlotte. But yeah, so I think I might do that. I want to get a couple more international flights in. Trying to find places that are not rioting. I was gonna go to Paris, but there's people are rioting because the retirement age went up. So President Macron is not popular in France right now. All right. Okay. Red says, I think it's called the God Complex, like superiority complex. Yes. Yes. Heart surgeons. Yes. They often have the God complex. And I've heard that applied to pilots. I don't know many pilots. They seem very pleasant when they're talking to the flight attendants on the flight side, you know. So he will be in Vancouver from the 9th to the 12th. I think I'm just going to miss you. I don't think I get to Vancouver until the 18th, something like that. David says, not Breeze. No, if you missed it earlier, I will not be flying Breeze ever again. Well, never say never. I have zero plans to fly Breeze, which hurts me a little bit because Breeze has given me, I've got some compensation from Breeze. I got 150 Breeze bucks, which is pretty much a flight on Breeze in the nicer section. And it does hurt me that I probably will let that expire, but their customer service is the worst. As I've gotten older, and frankly, I don't feel like I have to put up with a lot of the crap that I was willing to put up with when I was younger in the customer service area. Their customer service is horrible. And I will detail that more in the video. I don't really want to go into that on stream here. I'm gonna try to come up with a nice script and have a well planned out rant rather than just off the cuff rant. As I said, I'm not operating at 100% right now, and I'm afraid of what I might say that would be irresponsible. So I'm gonna keep all my facts straight. And I want to be able to show you all of the emails, which I think were chat bot generated. They're very tone deaf. They're like, oh, we're sorry we screwed you, but that's how it goes. That's kind of the tone of the emails. At least that's how I read them as I was negotiating. I guess was negotiating, begging, pleading that they actually cover my expenses, which they claimed that they told us that they would do or they would not do. And anyway, I'll save that for the rant. All right. Nick asked, do I like the Alaskan mountains more than Arizona or Colorado mountains? I would say that I would say I'm partial to very tall snow-covered mountains. The Arizona mountains can get snow, of course, and Colorado mountains are the Rocky Mountains. So in a lot of ways, Alaska and Colorado mountains, you could argue, I think that technically that's part of the same mountain range. But when I went to Alaska I guess it was last year, and I flew, you basically fly up the coast when you're going to Anchorage. That whole area of mountains north of Seattle all the way to Alaska, especially from the air, I had a clear day, was just stunning. I thought it was just gorgeous. I was flying up in the middle of the summer, and there was just still tons of snow. Obviously, there's glaciers on some of them still. They haven't all melted yet. So that was beautiful scenery. So I'm hoping that I get some of that being down in probably in the valleys of that. A lot of that on this on the Canadian is kind of what I'm hoping for. Obviously, there is a view car, and of course in my compartment I'll have a window, but I expect I'll be spending a lot of time up in the view car, watching the scenery. I'm first and foremost, I'm a beach guy. I get recharged just sitting on the beach and listening to the waves. But I did grow up in the Seattle area, so I am used to mountains and trees and all that type of scenery. And so I'm expecting I will get, I'm hoping I'll get some sort of that same kind of refreshment, if you will, from the scenery. So, yeah. So I guess that's my big, tall, snow-covered mountains is kind of my thing. Red says I did Charlotte. Is that Dublin? And then Dublin DFW back on American Airlines. Oh, David. That wouldn't be a bad Dublin. Basically, I'm going to do Google Flights and And if I can get a what I think is a reasonable business class flight from probably Charlotte to pretty much anywhere, I probably will just take that and add that to the end of my little conference that I'm going to. Um, I've done, I can't remember what they call it, the special first class on American. I did it cross country into Miami from Los Angeles. It was really good. I liked it a lot. So international, I think would be fantastic. So, and David says with a wink, Toronto to Boise on Breeze will be special. Someone's calling me. I can't call right now. Toronto to Boise on Breeze will be special. You betcha. Um, I I don't know that Breeze has any plans to expand into my area of the world anytime soon. They did have I did see on my Instagram feed that they have expanded into Orange County. Yay, Orange County to somewhere. So that's good. All right. Last story of the day that I've got, and I think we all knew this. Turns out taking a fun little ride down the plane slide can get you arrested. Apparently, those slides are reserved for actual emergencies or something. I like the sarcastic headline on this. Um, I'm sure you've all been there before. You're on yet another flight. The flight attendant is going through their safety spiel. You're wondering if you should have paid the extra money for Comfort Plus because despite being seated in an exit row, your fellow passenger is broad shouldered and not exactly smelling like they're freshly showered. Then the flight attendant gets to the part about the emergency slides, and you start considering bailing on the flight altogether. All you've got to do is open the door and you're free to take a fun little ride down the plane slide. Not only would it probably be exhilarating, but you've also be free. Free from the plane, free of your seatmate, free from the rules of society. Why do you even let the man keep you down? You deserve at least 6 seconds of wee time and a fun little run around the tarmac. Yeah, I appreciate the tone of this article. As much as I get it, though, I do have a bit of bad news for you. CNN reports that a Delta passenger recently tried doing exactly that. The police had the audacity to arrest them for it. It's not like the plane was even moving when they did it either. It was reportedly holding, waiting to taxi for takeoff. Obviously, everyone knows you're not supposed to slide down out of a moving plane. But a stationary one, this is literally 1984. Of course, this is all tongue-in-cheek sarcasm, which might get you in trouble these days. What's even more upsetting is the fact that Delta employees were the ones who detained the passenger while they waited for law enforcement to show up to arrest him. First of all, don't be a bunch of snitches, Delta. Second, why are we shaming this person just because they've ruined everyone else's travel plans and force them to head back to the gate to be reaccommodated on a new aircraft? And finally, since when is sliding illegal? Everyone should be free to enjoy a good slide now and then. Actually, of course, this is all sarcastic, but hey, at least we know we currently live in a totalitarian state that cares nothing about your desire to have a little fun. You can definitely be arrested for trying to make your time on the plane a little more enjoyable, and Delta has a zero tolerance for fun and whimsy. Plan your future travels accordingly. So, this person probably delayed the entire airport, whatever airport this was at. Which, let's see. Oh, at LAX. Oh, geez. So, I don't know that they can move the aircraft once the slide is deployed. I don't know that they can move the aircraft necessarily. 737, and I don't know how long it takes to reset and put a new slide in the aircraft, but I'm sure it's better part of a day. So yeah, thankfully, Los Angeles is hey, butt gig. Thankfully, for most of those Delta people, Delta has a big presence at LAX. So they'd probably didn't have to wait too long to get reaccommodated, but That gentleman will not be flying ever again, I don't believe. He for sure won't be flying on Delta. I'm gonna guess he's probably done flying for the rest of his life. And little does he know, he probably won't be able to take a bus anywhere, not that you necessarily would want to, or a train anywhere. So he gets to drive wherever he wants to go for the rest of his life, more than likely. Let's see. Yeah, there was an incident a few years ago when a woman triggered the slide because she was in a rush. I remember that. She wanted to get off the plane, so she popped the door. It's probably expensive to repack the slide as well. Agreed. And I'm sure the passenger is going to be charged for that. All right. Red says, I think I might do Italy later this year via Chicago. Sometimes buy a ticket out of O'Hare when the fare is dramatically less. Then I could just Amtrak it in between. Oh, nice. Italy, that would be good. I've wanted to go to Florence and Rome, of course. See all the monuments. Going to the Colosseum is on my bucket list. So I don't know that I should call it a bucket list anymore because it just keeps getting bigger. My to-do list. Anyway, so yeah, if you want to get on the no-fly list and never travel again, pop this slide. That's one way to make sure you don't have to worry about being on a cramped airplane ever again. I am all done, folks. If any last questions, throw them into the chat. If you do not have any additional questions, I will be signing off. I will hang about for a minute or two with the end screen. You can enjoy the takeoff and landing video. There's a European EST. I don't know what ESTA is. Maybe David, you could put that in the chat. What is ESTA? I need some Jeopardy music. Do 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 do. Here, I have a sound effect for this. Oh, he got me. Here we go. So I don't know what EST is. Oh, travel visa. Oh, really? Oh, I have to get a travel visa to go to Europe now? Probably the EU. Crap. All right. Well, goodbye, everyone. Thanks for dropping in. See you, Nick. See you, Red. We will be doing it again, or I will be doing it again next week. Hopefully, there's good travel stuff in the offing. And I hope to have my Breeze rant video posted on Wednesday for you. So we can chat about that perhaps next week. If not, I will have something else fun. Maybe a torture tube, maybe a spirit. I haven't really decided what I'm gonna finish up this week. So all right. Thank you for coming in, and we will see you next time. Happy travels, everyone.